You may be living in days that do not stand out in any particular way, days that do not feel dramatic or meaningful, days that pass quietly without milestones, breakthroughs, or clear direction. And in these ordinary days, it can be easy to wonder if anything important is happening at all. If your life is moving, if your faith is alive, if God is near. Yet love speaks gently into this space to remind you that presence is not reserved for extraordinary moments. It is woven deeply into the ordinary ones you often overlook. You may wake up, go through familiar motions, repeat the same routines, and feel as though each day blends into the next, carrying no clear sign of purpose or significance. And this sameness can feel discouraging, even lonely, but sameness does not mean absence, and quiet does not mean distance. God does not wait for special occasions to be close to you, does not require meaningful events to draw near, does not measure your life by how memorable it looks from the outside. Presence is already here, steady and gentle, in the simplicity of your breathing, in the rhythm of your steps, in the ordinary moments you rarely pause to notice. You may have learned to look for God in moments of clarity, success, or emotional intensity, believing that closeness must feel profound or obvious. Yet God is just as present when nothing feels remarkable, when your heart feels neutral, when your thoughts wander without direction. Ordinary days are not empty spaces waiting to be filled with something better. They are living moments already held, already accompanied, already known. You may feel unseen in these days, as if your life is happening quietly on the margins while others experience something more meaningful. But God does not overlook what feels small to you, does not dismiss what feels repetitive, does not grow bored with your routine. Presence does not fade because nothing special is happening. It settles more deeply, becoming less noticeable precisely because it is constant. You may expect God to interrupt your life with signs or changes, yet often God chooses to walk alongside you instead, step by step, breath by breath, without urgency, without spectacle. There is no requirement for your days to be productive, inspiring, or spiritually impressive for God to be near. There is no expectation that you must feel something profound for your life to matter. God is with you when you make simple choices, when you move slowly, when you feel unsure, when you are simply getting through the day. You may feel disconnected because your days feel ordinary, but ordinariness is not distance. It is the place where presence becomes most faithful. God does not withdraw in the quiet, does not step back when life feels repetitive, does not wait for you to become more interesting or more certain. Presence remains even when your attention drifts, even when your faith feels quiet, even when your days feel forgettable. Ordinary days are where trust is built gently, without pressure, where faith becomes less about intensity and more about companionship, less about feeling and more about being held. You are not missing God because your life feels simple right now. You are meeting God in the way presence has always existed, quietly, steadily, without needing to announce itself. Even now, as you rest in this moment, nothing special required, nothing impressive expected. You are not alone in the ordinary. You are accompanied, known, and gently held, exactly as your life unfolds, one unremarkable moment at a time. There are seasons in life when nothing seems to stand out, when days pass quietly without clear progress, without moments that feel meaningful or memorable. And in these seasons it can feel as though your life is paused, as though you are waiting for something to begin while nothing actually does. You may wake up each morning and move through familiar routines, doing what needs to be done, speaking to the same people, returning to the same places, and at the end of the day you may wonder where the day went, what it was for, whether it mattered at all. When nothing special seems to be happening, It is easy to believe that God must be distant, waiting somewhere ahead in a future moment that feels more important than the one you are living now. Yet God does not measure closeness by how eventful your days are. God is not waiting for your life to become more interesting before drawing near. Presence does not depend on momentum or visible change. It remains steady even when your life feels still. You may feel restless in the stillness, uneasy with the sense that time is passing without direction. And this restlessness can create a quiet anxiety, a feeling that you should be doing more, becoming more, moving faster towards something you cannot clearly name. Yet God does not rush you out of ordinary days, does not treat them as delays or mistakes. These days are not empty spaces between meaningful moments. They are meaningful in their own quiet way. When nothing special seems to be happening, it can feel as though your faith is also standing still, as though belief should feel more alive, more certain, more inspiring, and this can make you question whether you are growing at all. But faith does not always grow through excitement or clarity. It often grows through presence, through showing up again and again in days that feel the same. God is with you in the repetition, in the routines you barely notice, in the small choices that feel insignificant, because presence does not require novelty to remain real. You may compare your life to others, noticing moments of celebration, achievement, or visible purpose, and this comparison can make your own days feel small or unimportant. Yet God does not compare your journey to anyone else's, does not measure your worth against someone else's milestones. Your ordinary days are not lacking because they look different. When nothing special seems to be happening, it may actually be a sign that your life is being held in a stable rhythm, one that does not demand constant change to prove its value. God is not absent in the quiet. God is not bored with your routine. God is not overlooking you because your days feel simple. Presence remains faithful even when your attention wanders and your faith feels quiet. There may be moments when you wish something would interrupt the sameness, something big enough to give your days a clear meaning. Yet God often chooses not to interrupt ordinary life, but to dwell within it, making the familiar sacred through presence rather than spectacle. You do not need to create meaning for God to be near. You do not need to make something special happen. You do not need to feel inspired to be accompanied. God is already with you in the unremarkable flow of your days. Ordinary time is not wasted time. It is where patience grows, where trust deepens quietly, where you learn to live without constant reassurance. When nothing special seems to be happening, God is still listening, still noticing, still walking with you through each small moment you may barely remember later. You are not behind because your life feels quiet. You are not missing something because change feels slow. You are not forgotten because your days feel ordinary. God is with you in the way presence has always been, steady, gentle, unchanging. Even now, in this moment that may feel like just another moment, nothing extraordinary required, nothing impressive expected. You are not alone in the ordinary. You are accompanied fully, patiently, and lovingly, right where you are. Faith does not always feel alive in ways that are easy to recognize. It does not always arrive as clarity, conviction, or emotional warmth. And in ordinary seasons it may feel almost invisible, woven quietly into routine and repetition rather than marked by intensity or inspiration. You may wake up each day and move through familiar motions, doing what needs to be done without feeling especially connected or certain. And this can lead you to wonder if your faith has grown weak, if it has faded, if it has become something passive or empty. Yet faith that lives in routine is often deeper than faith that depends on feeling. God does not withdraw from repetition. God remains present in it, steady and patient, walking with you through days that look the same from the outside but are quietly forming trust on the inside. You may expect faith to feel active, expressive, or confident, and when it does not, you may assume something is missing. But faith does not require constant expression to remain real. It does not need intensity to survive. Faith that lives in repetition is faith that has learned to stay even when nothing new is happening, even when questions remain unanswered, even when emotions feel flat or tired. God is with you in this staying, in the quiet continuation of ordinary life, in the choice to move through another day without demanding proof of meaning. Routine can feel dull when you are longing for direction, yet routine can also be a place where faith rests, where it no longer has to prove itself, where it is free to exist without performance. God does not measure your faith by how inspired you feel, by how articulate your belief sounds, or by how confident your prayers are. God honors the faith that breathes quietly, that shows up without certainty, that remains even when nothing feels special. You may repeat the same tasks, have the same conversations, face the same thoughts, and this repetition can feel like stagnation, but it can also be the rhythm through which faith becomes steady rather than reactive. Faith in routine does not rush toward outcomes. It does not demand constant reassurance. It trusts presence without spectacle. God is present in the small, repeated choices you make without thinking, in the way you continue living even when motivation is low, in the way you return to rest when the day ends. This kind of faith does not draw attention to itself. It does not feel impressive, yet it endures. You may feel unnoticed in your quiet faith, as though something louder or more visible would be more meaningful. But God does not overlook what feels small to you. God does not dismiss what feels ordinary. Presence remains just as real in repetition as it is in change. Faith that lives in routine learns patience, learns to exist without urgency, learns to trust that God is near even when nothing seems to confirm it. You may carry doubts alongside this faith, uncertainties that do not resolve quickly, and these do not cancel belief. They soften it, making it more honest, more human. God does not require your faith to be free of doubt to remain close. God remains even when belief feels quiet and unsure. Routine is where faith becomes less about feeling and more about companionship, less about certainty and more about being held. You may not remember every ordinary day later, but faith remembers presence even when memory fades. God walks with you through the repetition not because it is exciting, but because it is real, because this is where life actually happens. Faith that lives in routine is often faith that has learned to trust without urgency, to remain without pressure, to breathe without explanation. Even now, in this ordinary moment, without anything remarkable happening, your faith is not absent. It is simply resting, living quietly in the repetition of your life, accompanied fully by a God who does not require your days to be special in order to stay. There are moments in your day that pass so quietly you hardly notice them at all, moments that seem too small, too ordinary, too insignificant to matter, and yet these are often the very moments where God chooses to be closest to you, not interrupting, not demanding attention, but simply present in ways that do not call out for recognition. You may be so accustomed to looking for meaning in what is big, noticeable, or emotionally intense that you overlook the gentle companionship woven into the smallest details of your life. The way your breath steadies without effort, the way light enters a room, the way your body knows how to rest when you finally allow it. God is not only found in moments you remember. God is with you in moments that pass without leaving a mark in your memory, moments you may never think about again, and yet they are held with the same care. You may move through your day focused on what needs to be done, what should happen next, what feels unresolved, and in doing so you may miss how presence quietly surrounds you, not waiting for you to notice, not withdrawing when you are distracted. God is with you in the pauses between tasks, in the seconds where nothing is happening, in the silence that feels empty only because you are used to filling it. These small moments are not gaps in your life. They are part of its fabric, and God does not step away during them. You may overlook the way your body continues to carry you without instruction, the way your heart keeps its rhythm, the way your mind drifts gently when it no longer needs to focus, and these unnoticed processes are themselves signs of care, of a presence that sustains without demanding awareness. God is with you when you are not thinking about God at all, when your mind is elsewhere, when your attention is scattered, because presence is not dependent on your focus. You may believe that meaningful connection requires intention, attention, or awareness, yet God's companionship does not disappear when you forget to look for it. In the small moments you usually overlook, there is no expectation placed on you, no performance required, no feeling you need to generate, and this is often where safety deepens most naturally. God is present in the ordinary sounds of your environment, in the way time passes slowly when you are tired, in the way your body responds to comfort before your mind does. You may overlook these moments because they do not announce themselves, because they do not demand interpretation, because they do not feel important, yet they are where presence becomes most faithful. God does not wait for your life to become quieter or more spiritual to draw near. God is already with you in the background of your existence, steady and unchanging. You may feel unseen in your daily life, as though your days pass without significance. Yet God sees what you overlook, notices what you dismiss, stays with you in the moments you do not record or remember. There is no hierarchy of moments where some deserve presence and others do not. God does not rank your experiences by importance. Every moment you live is equally held. You may overlook the way your body responds to gentleness, the way tension releases slightly when you are not watching, the way rest arrives quietly when you stop trying to achieve it, and these unnoticed shifts are often signs of care that does not require acknowledgement. God is with you in the way your life continues even when you feel unsure, in the way you keep breathing, moving, existing without effort, and this continuation is not accidental. Small moments are often where pressure fades, where expectation loosens, where you are not trying to be anything in particular, and this is where presence can settle deeply. You may believe that you are missing God because you do not feel anything special, yet God is not absent in the ordinary. God is often most present there, choosing closeness over spectacle. In the moments you overlook, you are not being tested, evaluated, or judged. You are simply being accompanied. God does not require your awareness to remain near, does not step away when your mind wanders, does not disappear when you forget to look. You may overlook the softness that arrives when you finally sit down, the quiet relief of not having to move for a moment, the way your thoughts slow when nothing is demanded of you. And these small experiences are not empty. They are places where care meets you gently. God is with you when you are washing your hands, when you are staring out a window, when you are lying still without thinking about anything in particular, because presence is not reserved for moments of intention. You may overlook the comfort that comes from familiarity, the safety of routine, the steadiness of repeated actions, and yet these are places where God remains consistently near. There is nothing about your ordinary life that makes it less worthy of presence. Nothing about your small moments that makes them unimportant. God does not wait for you to notice before staying. does not need your acknowledgement to remain faithful. In the moments you usually overlook, you are not alone, you are not disconnected, you are not unseen, you are being quietly accompanied in ways that do not demand attention. Even now, as you rest in this moment, without needing to mark it as meaningful, without needing to remember it later, God is with you, gently, steadily, fully present in the smallness of this ordinary time, holding what you do not notice, caring for what you overlook, and remaining with you in every quiet moment of your life. There are ordinary days when the quiet no longer feels gentle but heavy, when routine does not soothe but weighs on you, when the hours seem to stretch without offering anything in return. And in these days, emptiness can feel louder than noise, pressing against you with a sense that something is missing even if you cannot name what it is. You may move through familiar motions with a tired body and an even more tired heart, wondering why everything feels so dense, why simple tasks require more effort than they should, why joy feels distant even though nothing visibly wrong is happening. In these moments, it is easy to assume that something is broken inside you, that your faith is weak, that you are failing to live life the way you are supposed to. Yet love speaks softly here to tell you that heaviness does not mean absence, and emptiness does not mean you have been left behind. Ordinary days can feel heavy when you have been carrying more than you realize. When unspoken emotions, quiet disappointments, or long-held expectations have settled into your body without ever being acknowledged. God is with you in this wait, not standing at a distance waiting for you to feel better, but remaining close even when the day feels difficult to endure. You may feel guilty for finding life heavy when nothing dramatic is happening, questioning why you cannot simply be grateful or content. Yet heaviness does not require justification to be real, and emptiness does not need permission to exist. God does not dismiss your experience because it looks ordinary from the outside. God does not measure your pain by how visible it is. Presence remains steady even when your inner world feels dull or drained. There are days when emptiness feels like a lack of meaning, a sense that you are moving forward without purpose, and this can be deeply unsettling. But emptiness is not always a sign that something is missing. Sometimes it is a sign that something is resting, waiting, or being reshaped quietly beneath the surface. God is with you in this waiting, holding space without pressure, without demanding that you figure it out or fix it. God does not ask you to make your days lighter through effort, does not demand that you transform heaviness into gratitude. God simply stays with you inside it. Emptiness can also come from loss that has no clear ending, from changes that happened quietly, from dreams that faded without closure. And these experiences can leave a subtle ache that follows you through routine without announcing itself. God sees this ache even when you do not have words for it, even when you have learned to live with it as part of your days. You may feel pressure to fill the emptiness, to distract yourself, to make something happen so the days feel worthwhile again. Yet God does not rush you out of emptiness, does not treat it as a problem to be solved. Emptiness can be a place where you are allowed to stop striving, to stop reaching, to simply be held. When ordinary days feel heavy, it can feel as though time itself is against you, each day repeating the same weight. But God does not experience your days as burdensome. God does not grow impatient with your pace. Presence remains patient and kind. You may feel unseen in your heaviness, believing that others move through life with more ease. Yet God sees the effort it takes for you to get through days that feel empty, and this effort matters even if no one else notices. There is no requirement for you to feel inspired, hopeful, or motivated for your life to be worthy of care. God is with you even when your days feel dull, slow, or difficult to carry. Heaviness does not disqualify you from love, and emptiness does not make you distant from God. These experiences are part of being human, and humanity has always been the place where love chooses to stay. You may not know how long this heaviness will last, or whether emptiness will lift soon, but God does not ask you to look ahead, does not demand that you find meaning right now. Presence is enough for this moment. Even in days that feel long and empty, even when nothing seems to change, you are not alone in the weight you carry. You are not abandoned in the quiet. You are being gently accompanied through every ordinary hour, held with patience and care until heaviness softens in its own time, and emptiness slowly becomes a space where rest is allowed. There comes a point in ordinary days when you realize that much of your exhaustion does not come from what you are doing, but from what you are waiting for, the quiet expectation that something bigger, clearer, or more meaningful must arrive before you are allowed to rest. And this waiting can keep your body tense and your spirit alert even when nothing urgent is happening. You may have learned to postpone rest until things make sense, until life feels more purposeful, until circumstances improve or emotions lift, believing that rest is a reward for progress rather than a necessity for being human. Yet love speaks gently into this pattern, reminding you that rest does not require a turning point. It does not depend on change. It does not need a reason to be allowed. God is with you not only in moments of breakthrough, but also in the long stretches where nothing dramatic happens and nothing resolves quickly. Learning to rest without waiting for something big means releasing the idea that your life must feel meaningful before it is worthy of care, that your days must lead somewhere obvious before you are allowed to soften. You may notice how your body stays slightly braced, as if prepared for an announcement, a decision, or an event that will finally explain everything, and this bracing can quietly drain you over time. God does not ask you to stay alert for a future moment. God invites you to rest here, in the middle of what feels unfinished. There is no requirement that your life become clearer before you are allowed to relax. No expectation that answers arrive before your breath can deepen. You may fear that resting too soon means giving up, that letting go of anticipation will make you complacent or unmotivated. But rest is not surrendering your life. It is trusting that your life does not depend on constant readiness. God is with you even when you stop scanning the horizon, even when you release the pressure to be prepared for what comes next. Ordinary days often teach you to wait quietly, to hold your breath for something that will make sense of everything. Yet God does not hold you in suspense. God stays with you in the present, offering rest without conditions. You do not need a clear direction to lie down inside yourself. You do not need a sign to let your shoulders drop. You do not need permission from the future to rest now. Learning to rest without waiting for something big also means accepting that some seasons are meant to be lived without explanation, without milestones, without visible growth. And these seasons are not mistakes. They are spaces where your nervous system learns safety, where your spirit learns that it is allowed to exist without urgency. God does not rush you through these seasons, does not treat them as delays, does not withhold presence until something changes. You may notice resistance when you try to rest, a feeling that you should be doing more, planning more, preparing for something unseen, and this resistance is often a sign of how long you have lived in anticipation. God meets you gently here, not forcing rest, but offering reassurance that nothing essential will be lost if you stop waiting. Resting without waiting does not mean you no longer care about your life. It means you trust that your life is held even when nothing is happening. You are allowed to enjoy moments that feel small, to rest in days that feel ordinary, without fearing that you are missing your chance. God is present in your stillness just as much as in your movement, in your pause just as much as in your progress. There is a quiet freedom in realizing that you do not need to be on the verge of something important to deserve peace, that you do not need to be almost there to be allowed to rest. You may still carry hopes, desires, and unanswered questions, and these can remain without being resolved tonight. Rest does not require closure. God is not asking you to stop caring, only to stop holding yourself in readiness as if rest must wait. Learning to rest without waiting for something big is an act of trust, a gentle decision to be present where you are, to let today be enough even if tomorrow is unclear. Even now, as you release the expectation that something must happen, as you allow yourself to settle into this ordinary moment, you are not neglecting your future, you are caring for yourself in the present. God remains with you here, not urging you forward, not asking you to prepare, simply holding you in the quiet truth that you are allowed to rest, even when nothing big is happening, even when your life feels unresolved, even when today looks just like yesterday, because presence does not wait for significance. It lives with you now. As these ordinary days continue, as the rhythm of your life moves forward without needing to announce itself, there is a gentle truth that can slowly settle inside you, a truth that does not need to be understood fully to be felt, that you are not waiting to be held by God. You already are here, now, in the everyday shape of your life exactly as it is. You may have spent so much time believing that closeness must come later, after clarity arrives, after heaviness lifts, after something finally changes, that it feels unfamiliar to consider the possibility that nothing needs to be different for you to be accompanied. Yet God does not approach your life conditionally, does not stand just beyond reach until you improve, understand, or become more certain. Presence has always been woven into your ordinary moments, steady and patient, even when you were too tired to notice. Being held in the everyday does not feel dramatic or overwhelming. It feels subtle, almost quiet enough to miss, like a steady warmth that does not demand attention, like support that remains whether or not you acknowledge it. You may still wake up to familiar routines, still move through days that feel similar to the ones before, still carry unanswered questions and quiet fatigue, and none of this pushes God away, none of this creates distance, none of this disqualifies you from care. You are not required to transform your ordinary life into something extraordinary to be worthy of presence. You are not asked to feel grateful, inspired, or peaceful for God to remain near. You are allowed to simply exist as you are. Being held does not mean your days will suddenly feel light or meaningful in obvious ways. It means you are not carrying them alone. Even when they feel heavy, even when they feel empty, even when they feel long. You may not sense this holding clearly, especially if you have learned to survive by relying only on what you can see or control, but absence of sensation is not absence of care. God's presence does not fluctuate with your awareness. It does not depend on your emotional state. It remains constant even when your attention drifts or your faith feels quiet. In the everyday, being held often feels like permission rather than reassurance. Permission to slow down, permission to stop striving, permission to let today be enough without needing to justify it. You may notice small signs of this holding, not as sudden peace, but as a slight easing in your body, a moment where your breath deepens without effort, a quiet sense that you do not need to figure everything out right now. These are not things you have to make happen. They arrive naturally when pressure softens, when you stop demanding more of yourself than you can give. God does not rush you toward healing, does not push you toward understanding, does not urge you to move faster through your days. Presence adapts to your pace, walking with you rather than pulling you forward. Being held in the everyday means you are allowed to rest without explanation, to exist without purpose for a moment, to let your life be simple without feeling guilty. You may still carry the sense that you should be doing more, becoming more, feeling more, and this sense may not disappear all at once, but it does not define your worth, and it does not cancel the care surrounding you. God does not measure your life by productivity or progress, does not evaluate your days based on how meaningful they appear. Presence remains just as close on quiet afternoons as it does in moments of clarity or joy. You are allowed to have days where nothing stands out, where you do not feel particularly connected, where faith feels more like habit than conviction, and you are still held fully in those days. Being held does not require effort on your part. It does not depend on your strength or attention. It is something you are already receiving. You may notice that when you stop trying to feel held, a deeper rest becomes possible, one that does not need to be named or understood. God's presence does not intrude. It supports quietly, allowing you to settle without pressure. In this everyday holding, there is no demand to fix yourself, no urgency to change your circumstances, no requirement to resolve your questions before resting. You are allowed to let the ordinary be ordinary, to let today be what it is, without adding weight to it through expectation. Being held means you do not have to carry the meaning of your life alone. You do not have to make sense of everything tonight. You do not have to prepare for what comes next. God is with you in the continuity of your days, in the simple fact that you are here, breathing, existing, moving gently through time. Even if your life feels small to you right now, even if it feels quiet or unnoticed, it is not overlooked, it is not insignificant, it is not abandoned. Presence does not leave when excitement fades. It does not withdraw when routine settles in. It stays, faithful and calm. As you rest here, allowing this moment to pass without needing to define it, you are not doing anything wrong. You are not falling behind. You are not wasting time. You are being held in the way love has always intended, gently, patiently, without conditions. Let your body soften as much as it can. Let your thoughts drift if they need to. Let tomorrow wait, because nothing needs to be resolved right now. You are not alone in these ordinary days. You have never been, and you do not need to become extraordinary to be close to God. You are already accompanied, already cared for, already held in the everyday rhythm of your life, and this holding will remain steady, quiet, and faithful, carrying you through each ordinary moment with a love that does not ask you to be anything more than you are.